Welcome to today's mentoring session, and I'll be starting with the weekly sectoral analysis first as usual. And first I'll be analyzing Nifty, Bank Nifty, private banks, PSU banks, and so on. We'll go on till the Nifty mid cap index. And as usual, my nature is I always try to do the analysis with top down approach. So first we'll analyze the higher time frame charts. उसके बाद हम लोग weekly और daily time frame पे आएंगे. Now, what we can see over here, obviously this candle is not yet complete, considering that this month is yet to be completed. But we can see that prices have bounced from the 23.6% Fibonacci retracement basically. And this bounce back has happened due to a special reason. And the reason behind that is this particular pullback, this particular uptrend is very, very big. All right. This uptrend is very, very big. And generally when the trends are very big, what happens is the 23.6% Fibonacci retracement becomes an important support. Somehow I was of an opinion that some more downside is left in Nifty. But as I always say, that personal opinions, personal thought, your personal wishes are not to be granted in the market. You have to follow the price. So we can see prices are bouncing back, but yes, this candle is yet to be completed. All right, now we'll go to the weekly time frame chart of Nifty futures. In the weekly time frame chart, what we can see that the trend is absolutely flat. All right, the trend is absolutely flat. And if I connect these two points, the lower and the upper point, then what we can see is prices have bounced from this 127.20% Fibonacci extension. और अगर मैं इस दोनों candlestick को मिलाता हूं, then it becomes a bullish engulfing pattern. Now basically Fibonacci 127.20% Fibonacci extension is not a very strong support, but generally out of 10 bounce backs, you can say 3 or 4 are generally very large. And we have seen this happening in last couple of weeks, that the bounce back has been pretty large from a lows of 15,700 or 800. We have seen till almost 17,400 or 17,450. Now, overall, the trend is still flat in the weekly time frame. Nothing much to say over here. And in the daily time frame charts, there is one thing which I don't like, and that is lack of participation. Continuously, the prices are going up. Okay, prices have been going up since the bottom, which was made on 7th of March. But if you see properly, price is going up, but at the same point of time, volume is coming down. Now, generally, when prices are going up and volume is coming down, this is supposed to be a negative divergence. But does this mean that we have a top at this place and markets will come down? Frankly speaking, we don't know. Okay, frankly speaking, we don't know, and there is no point of predicting because I'm a reactive trader. I'm not a predictive trader. So we can say that this is a negative divergence, and there is lack of participation. But there is one more thing which I can see, decline of volatility. If you see all the size, I'll just remove this volume indicator. If you see the size of candlesticks over here, okay, it is very, very large. Similar thing is over here. The size of candlestick is very large, but यहाँ पे जो candles बन रहे हैं वो बहुत छोटे हैं. So when the size of candles comes down, the volatility drops, and generally volatility coming down is a sign, a partial sign of bulls are trying hard to come back into the power. But according to me, until and unless we do not close above 17,555 for at least one day or maybe 2 days, there is no point of talking any further that market abhi teji mein aa raha hai ya upar jane wala hai. No, it doesn't make any sense. Overall, market is very, very choppy within the range of 17,555, and on the downside, you can say 16,870 or something. You can continuously see in last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days, we are within this range, very much within this range. And if this breaks, probably will go down, obviously on closing basis, not on intraday basis. And if this breaks on closing basis, we might head higher. So I guess we'll need to wait and watch, and market itself is will let us know actually what's happening. Now, surprisingly, if you see the Bank Nifty chart, Bank Nifty chart has some other scenario which is happening at its end. If you see properly, we have a candle which is yet not complete, obviously, because this is a monthly time frame chart and this month's candle is yet to be completed. But ये जो candlestick है, this is a dragonfly doji. As of now, जब month complete होगा, वो time पे ये कौन सी candle बनेगी हमको नहीं पता. As of now, it is a bullish candle, one of the most bullish candles, in fact. And this candle has come up at a point where it has tested its previous highs, which occurred in 2019. So this is obviously a decent support. And going to the lower time frame, which is weekly time frame, if I connect these 2 points, again we have bounced back with the 127.20% Fibonacci extension, and this is the high wave candle. Now high wave candles coming up at good supports are the sign that market is overstretched on one direction, in one direction, यानी कि बहुत ज़्यादा नीचे मंदी हो चुकी थी, and probably it needed a breather, it needed a bounce back, and we did bounce. As of now, we can say that a trend is flat. Prices are below moving averages in the weekly time frame chart, but overall trend is still flat. All right. And if you check the daily time frame chart, I think today many of the traders were fooled because, especially, I'll just go to the swing trading time frame, which is, for me, swing trading time frame is hourly time frame. So basically, as soon as this support was broken, possibly many traders would have gone short, and then we got a pullback. But I guess that's the, you can say that's the nature of the game, and you cannot avoid it. But as I told, I think in this week I had shared 2 videos of Nifty short term view. Generally मैं एक ही video share करता हूँ, but in this week I did share 2 videos. And if you see very carefully in those videos, I had told, until and unless we don't close below this particular low, market यानी कि बैंक निफ्टी ज़्यादा नीचे नहीं जाएगा. And now we have a hammer over here, and just before that hammer we have a inverted hammer. Now this inverted hammer and this combination of hammer is a clear sign that bears and bulls and bears are in a stage of extreme fight. Okay, so it's generally when prices are bouncing between the resistance and support, it is a very good time to lose money. So I would suggest trade as less as possible. जितना हो सके कम trade करें. There was one stock which was looking one of the best candidates possibly for going short or something, HDFC Bank. But again, I guess all other stocks were not participating that much. Today, I'm talking about today, like ICICI Bank or Kotak Bank, they were not looking as strong candidates to go short like HDFC Bank. So generally in this scenario, when markets are very choppy and you're not able to judge which particular stock to pick to go long or short, I think it's better to stick with the index, especially if you are a trader of derivatives, if you're trading in futures and options. So we are blessed with Nifty and Bank Nifty, so you can stick with this particular index. But even over here, you can see we have seen a small bounce back in the hourly charts. Again, if we want a big move on the downside, we'll need to close below this particular level. And on the upside, if you want to see a very, very huge rally, we'll need to close above 37,000. उससे पहले कुछ नहीं होने वाला. We'll just keep on bouncing to and fro. That's it. So trade as less as possible. Private banks, I wouldn't like to say much. Again, I think the charts are more or less similar. You can see here also we have a sort of a high wave candle in the weekly time frame. All right, and then we have a big green candle. And the trend is down over here, no doubt about that, but we are lacking momentum. And in the daily time frame charts, yes, there is some sort of weakness because we have hit a very stiff resistance over here. Prices are trying to come down, but as I said, that as soon as the Bank Nifty futures support will be broken on closing basis, I think even the private banks will start sliding down. PSU banks. Now, PSU banks is a little bit different than the private banks. What we can see is the trend is flat, but it seems very, very strong in comparison to private banks. See, this is the private bank chart and this is the PSU bank chart. I think even a kid can clearly see that this is slightly stronger than the private banks. And the trend is flat, but prices have bounced from this previous high. In conjunction with this, we have a support band which was created recently. So it has bounced from a decent support band. In the monthly time frame, if you see, although this candle is not yet closed, we are seeing a hammer. So if this consolidation goes on and then a rise happens, I think there will be a very good move on the upside in the PSU banks. But again, this support band should hold on. We should not see any weekly closing below this support band, and consistent buying should happen. Only then this will happen. Otherwise, people will just start buying blindly PSU banks. Don't try to do that. In daily chart, in daily time frame, you can see nothing much to say. I think prices are exceptionally range bound. Volatility is coming down, no doubt about that. But due to lack of trend, I would stay away from PSU banks, and probably some upside move if it happens, then I'll try to look at them. And if the obviously Bank Nifty future support is broken, and if we see some sort of downside move happening in the PSU banks, and if it happens in the SBI also, then only I will try to pick SBI as a swing trade candidate. Otherwise, again, I will completely avoid. Metals. Now, metals has been one sector, I think, which has been putting a smile on many traders' face, including me. We can see metals have bounced back from this particular support band nicely. And if you want to look in a much better way, in the weekly chart, the support band is visible very, very strongly. We have so many hammers. One, this is a smaller hammer. This is a third. This is a fourth. This didn't touch over here, but although it does sense some sort of support coming up over here. And overall, you can see this nice up move happening. And in the daily time frame chart, yes, we are a little bit overstretched, but that is all right. Trend is very, very strong in the metal pack. And if you look at Tata Steel, I'm already holding this particular stock. And second is Hindalco. Hindalco I had initiated for a swing trade. It's going up nicely. JSW Steel is also looking pretty nice, but this is not obviously a level to buy. If it dips or something, if it consolidates, and then if you find out pretty attractive for a swing trading candidate, then probably you can jump on the stock. Even Jindal Steel and Power, you can have a look. This is a very strong stock. This is extremely overstretched. So in case if it probably bounces back, if it probably comes down or something for profit booking, and then if you fancy your chances, and if then it starts going up, maybe then you will be able to trade Jindal Steel and Power for a swing trade. All right. So overall, I think metal pack is outperforming the Nifty very, very nicely. Auto pack. Let's have a look at the monthly time frame. In the monthly time frame, you can see that the trend is flat. All right, that the trend is flat, but prices have been able to bounce from this 38.20% Fibonacci retracement, which is a pretty nice retracement, because the reason is this moving average is also trading at this particular level. So when a moving average and the Fibonacci, when they both come together, they make a very good support confluence, and we have a strong bounce back from here. But when I look the same chart, all right, in the weekly time frame, the trend is still down. And if I look this particular chart in the daily time, in the weekly time frame also, the trend is down. In the daily chart also, the trend is down. But somehow I feel some sort of consolidation might happen in coming days in the auto pack, and then possibly we will come to know what's the direction in this particular index, in this particular sector. On the upside, we have this particular resistance band, and as of now, I have nothing to say about this particular pack. I would like to avoid trading in auto pack, at least for a few days. Maybe after a few days, we'll have a better idea of what is happening in this particular sector. So for timing, I would stay away from auto pack. Finance. Finance also, you can see it has been able to bounce back. I'll just maximize this chart. It has been able to bounce back from this previous high, which was the high of 2020. All right. Jan 2020, just before the COVID. And then we have a very strong bullish candle over here. Obviously, this candle is not yet completed. We need some time because there are a few days left for this month to be completed. After that, we'll come to know what sort of candle this has been. And in the weekly time frame chart, the trend is down. This is just a bounce back. And I think in next few days, as of now, it's very difficult to say, but keep your eyes open because the reason is there is a very, very strong resistance band over here. We have this first band, then we have the second band. So surpassing this, both these resistance band on the upside is not going to be easy. So in case if market starts correcting and if you want to find out stocks, which are the good stocks to possibly find out for a swing short or something, then you can immediately open the finance pack and the stocks within that. IT pack. Now IT pack, I think all of you who are following me on YouTube, you can just watch my video yesterday which I had made. I'll not stress a lot on this particular sector today because I have already made a video of IT pack and I've shared two stocks. You can go to my YouTube channel and just watch my yesterday's video on IT pack, and I had shared two different stocks. One was TCS, one was Tech Mahindra. Go and watch that video. I think all your questions will be answered. So for IT pack, you'll have to watch that particular video. I will not waste your and my time in this particular sector. And if you want, what I'll do is at the end of this video, when I'll upload this educational video on YouTube, I'll add a link of that yesterday's video at the end of the video. So in case if you have missed, you will be able to watch that. Pharma pack. Now in Pharma pack, what has happened is in the monthly time frame chart, there has been a bounce, and this bounce is coming at a stage where we have support coming up from these three candles. It's not a very impressive candle, but the way at the place at which it has been made is looking nice. And in the weekly time frame chart, the trend is absolutely flat. In the daily time frame chart, I think we are still at a resistance band. But Pharma pack has one thing which is going on, which is very, very strange. I would say that there are few stocks which are underperforming. If I'm not wrong, there are few stocks. Yeah, there are few stocks which were underperforming. If you just keep this couple of candles away, last 2 days candles of Dr. Reddy, hidden, you will clearly see that the overall stock was underperforming, right? Even Aurobindo Pharma, if you see. Just forget this last couple of days candles. You see, they have been underperforming. Two stocks from my side. One is Cipla, which I've already shared possibly 3-4 days back in the Nifty short-term view, but I'll just give a short idea on that. This particular stock, overall, it is a very strong looking stock in terms of trend in the daily time frame chart. So in case it is available at possibly somewhere around say 1000 or maybe 980 levels, and from maybe here if it starts bouncing back, you can fancy your chances for a swing trade, not a positional trade, just a swing trade. And Sun Pharma, I think it has come down nicely, and you should keep a watch on it. It is already trading near its support. You can see this is the previous high, so it's already trading near its support. As soon as it starts moving higher, use your own proprietary trading systems to understand where the entry and exit will come in this particular stock. I think Sun Pharma and Cipla are the two stocks which you should be keeping in your watch list for a swing trade from the Pharma pack. FMCG. Now, FMCG again is a sector which is totally, it's behaving very strangely because two stocks, one is Hindustan Unilever. I had already told about this stock, I think a few days back, that if you find any weakness coming up in the market and especially in the FMCG pack, Hindustan Unilever would be the stock possibly to go short for a swing trade. It has gone down and it has behaved as per expectations. And on the contrary, if you see ITC is outperforming. So, currently we are in a scenario, even if you are following me on Twitter, I had shared a small thread of, I think, 4 sections where I clearly told that if you only watch Nifty and try to trade the market, you will not be able to make money because the market which is going on right now is very, very different than what it was in 2021. In 2021, I guess everything was going up. All the sectors were going up together. All the stocks were performing nicely. But right now what is happening is that market is range bound and few sectors are performing, few sectors are not performing, and then you'll have to trade the stock as per the merit of the quality of the chart. So over here it is very clearly visible ITC is an outperformer. So if it dips down, if it comes down for a profit booking somewhere around 238 or 240 zone, and if it consolidates and tries to go higher, you can fancy your chances for a swing trade. And talking about FMCG pack, I think it has been able to bounce back from the weekly support, which is all right. But if you see it in the monthly time frame chart, it's looking very strong. Although this candle is not yet complete, this is a high wave candle, and a high wave candle coming up at a stage where a lot of sell-off has already happened, plus we are at supports. This is something really serious. I think in next maybe 1 month or so, maybe 1.5 months, we'll come to know what's happening, and we need to keep our eyes open on the FMCG pack. Realty pack. A realty pack, again, I would suggest I would stay away from this particular sector. And the reason is the candle which has been made, it looks impressive in the monthly time frame chart. Although this candle is not yet complete, but the weekly chart also here seems to be impressive. Yes, the trend is completely flat, but the candles which have been made are really nice. And in the daily time frame, what I can see is, yes, we are at a resistance band, no doubt about that. I'm not saying that we should be buying at a resistance band just because the weekly and the monthly time frame is looking nice. What I'm trying to say is the volatility in the realty pack is coming down drastically. And in case if we close above 458 or 462, then probably you should start looking at the stocks in realty pack. But again, be very, very careful while choosing your picks, because if you see Nifty, overall market is also within a range. I think once this range is broken on the upside, then maybe making money would be much easier, because when the index itself starts going higher, then many stocks just start following automatically. Consumption index. Consumption index, yes, the candle is pretty nice. It has come up exactly at a point where two inverted hammers are giving support. The tip of the two inverted hammers is giving support to this particular candle. And in the weekly time frame, if you can see properly, this is a sort of a very, very bullish candle pattern. Then again, we have an extreme bullish candle, which is a bullish bell toll. And then suddenly we have a dark cloud cover over here. All right. So a bullish candle pattern, then a dark cloud cover pattern. So this is clearly a fight between the bulls and the bears. And generally, when we have a fight between bulls and the bears, you should be very, very careful. One thing which I don't like in the daily chart is, if I'm not wrong, the volatility would not have come down a lot. Yes, it has come down, but not very, very much. Because if you see in last 3 days, the size of the candles have not reduced. Only one candle over here was smaller. So overall, if you see if some sort of sell-off happens in the market for short term, then you should immediately open the sectoral indices of consumer pack, and then you should look at the stocks within. Might be you will be able to find one or two stocks for the short side. Mid-cap index. Mid-cap index, first thing which I like about this particular index is the candles which have come up at important support band. And even this particular candle today, current week's candle, has been a very small hammer. But one thing which I like is the size of the candle has come down. Now, at times, the size of the hammer is very, very important. But over here, I'm not taking it as a hammer. I'm taking it as a candle where the size has come down. And if you see same thing over here in the daily chart, the size of the candles are getting smaller and smaller day by day in the last few days. And these same candles over here were very huge. If I plot ATR, I'm pretty sure the volatility is coming down in the daily time frame chart. Yes, and see, this is a drastic drop. This is not a sideways sort of thing. This is a drastic drop. So if the volatility keeps falling drastically in mid caps and prices start going higher nicely, and probably once they sustain above 30,200 or something, maybe you will start seeing some fireworks in the mid cap index. All right. So I hope this entire educational video would be helpful, especially to people who are watching on the YouTube. And now I'll be start taking your questions about the positional and the swing trading system. Just give me a minute.